Welcome to Cut Daisies and Unicorns, and this is a Trailer Friday, everybody. This is always an exciting Friday. An exciting part of your Friday and my Friday is that we get to tell you all the things that are coming up and the things that you can get excited about, the things that you can engage with. And so it's always a good time for you to check in with us on a Friday. Give us a little bit of your time in order to, have an enjoyable time as well. Right, Steve?
We so want people to have an enjoyable time. Although, I would preface, people are going to see from the title.
Right.
Patriotism, Nationalism, and the loveliness of Bob Ross. I don't think I'll use loveliness in the title, but and I'm sure people are wondering. They're like, where are these two going with this? Well, I would say if you are familiar with Back to the Future and how the doors of the DeLorean opened up, yeah. So just put yourself into that figment of your imagination. And I would say that in your, wherever your space is, if you're walking on the treadmill, if you are, sitting in your, on your sofa, on your lazy boy, whatever position you're in, just imagine a door opening up to a little space pod, and we're going to ask you to climb into the little space pod and enjoy the meanderings and the wanderings of two adventuresome gentlemen here, and we're going to explore the root meanings of patriotism, nationalism, and you were brilliant. You brought us around. I had forgotten about Bob Ross, and then you brought Bob Ross into the conclusion and the conclusionary opportunities, and so take a look at that. We keep promising, but it's probably going to happen post in work. I have to figure out how people can, there's some YouTube videos where they have little markers and you can hover over and find out what the topic is and stuff like that and bounce around. And we actually held off our Weather Channel. A lot of times we just start out talking about the weather, and it's just we're
Gets us into the conversation.
Cutie patooties when it comes to our weather forecast and everything that's going on in the Chicagoland area.
It helps people, put the kind of the podcast into a realm of hey, how is Chicago going with the weather these days?
Yeah, exactly. Something interesting. We started talking about the pandemic opening up, and one of the things that you and I both recently drove to South Dakota.
Right.
Those states are more open than Chicagoland.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and when my mother-in-law was talking, and she and I were talking, we were talking about it, and she couldn't believe how shut down and still restricted we were in Chicago. And I just told her, I said, hey, there's a higher concentration of people here. I mean, you could walk into any restaurant or storefront, on any street, and the amount of space that there is between people isn't near as great as, walking down Main Street in Yankton, South Dakota.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does, it throws me off a little bit at first because even with, we have a lot of people being vaccinated here in the city.
Yeah.
But they're continuing also to wear masks as a precaution.
Yeah. And
so when you're going to a different setting and all of a sudden people are just, no masks and no, it almost looks normal. And you're like, but wait, is it normal? We're not exactly normal yet. We can say we're coming to the end of a pandemic, but it doesn't look like it in some places.
Yeah.
So it still feels strange.
Yeah.
It still feels, because of the setting that we're in, that people are still wearing it, and still, grocery stores, are even here now not mandating, and they're opening up, but it still feels weird.
Yeah.
Because most people are still wearing masks. So I don't know. Yeah. So it does throw me off a little bit.
Well, I just go back to my trip to Hong Kong, 4 or 5 years ago, and walking down the street in Hong Kong, it was not unusual to see people wearing masks. And actually, as a cultural courtesy, even when it was normal flu season or cold season, like if someone had symptoms, they would wear a mask to help not spread it to other people, even not in a pandemic level. I mean, just a cultural courtesy to other human beings. And, it'd be like, well, how we're the United States. That doesn't apply to us. Well, you really need to listen to the episode because, I think that there's something about us placing ourselves at a different level than others that we get into the conversation about.
We do.
Yeah.
And Steve gets fired up a little bit too, so you're gonna see a little bit of fired up Steve, and it's good. Yeah,
I'm practicing making faces for the center camera. It's like fired up Steve.
Fired up Steve. Oh. Fire it up.
I kind of miss my stocking hat. It's so warm that wearing a stocking hat only makes me get overheated and stuff in this weather, but I like to be everybody's favorite garden gnome. So when I was making my mean old man face,
Get off my lawn.
Yeah. Although that was a thought that went through my head about the episode, and you've seen Gran Torino.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like that, ultimately, if you want a context of like some of the things we're talking about, I mean, yeah, Gran Torino is a perfect example of just awfulness of where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
But Clint Eastwood, that dude.
Yeah, he knows how to bring things into, a cultural conversation. If you saw, I don't remember the name of it, but he was the mule.
Yeah, and there he did it again.
Mm-hmm.
He is taking on some real life conversations.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this episode, yeah, good. I would not put it under comedy.
No.
I probably will put it under causes, is what I'll put it under. I'm not sure what cause, but I mean, for us, based on the conversation, the cause for humanity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Humanness.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We use the word fluffy.
So it's not absent of humor then.
It's true. And we talk about collecting art, and we put that out there. If you want to go to Michael's and you want to find a coloring book for unicorns, you could pick up some colored pencils. Maybe you have colored pencils if you'd like to color a pencil on, or they may have a flower bouquet. Daisies are one of my favorite flowers. So, I mean, we're still looking for more fan art is what we're saying.
Right. And art doesn't have to be fixed into like this right here. So, and you're bringing out other pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to be original art.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we'll give credit to whichever coloring book illustrator or author, did that kind of thing.
As long as we know it.
Well, I mean, yeah, we'd ask the person submitting for the permissions to be able to share.
Right.
Yeah, I'm starting to wrap my mind around it. I might design something.
You're gonna do some of our own.
I don't know. I mean, I've got some plane rides to fly on, so I could be able to mess around with that.
Maybe some cut daisies and unicorns tattoo ideas.
Ah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Hey, and Lulu, who listens regularly, apparently I need to tear apart the Cut Daisies and Unicorns slide and be able to, I can even throw that there.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get some T-shirts done, but I know
Create
that you
some
mentioned that I have to take the daisies out of the background, and so I'm going to work on some stuff like that. So I've got
So whatever it is that actually you can, display it then on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And,
Get some T-shirts, get some merch out,
Right.
some bling for the folks.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think people would like it. They would enjoy it.
Yeah.
And people would then say, tell me what cut Daisies and Unicorns is.
Yeah, we're just looking for ways to be able to get it more out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. What I realize is that since we typically tape in the morning, we've talked about biorhythms before, but we have to remember that people love animation.
Mm.
Yeah, so like us getting animated, like we're not the typical YouTuber.
Right.
I mean, those people are animated.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Overly sometimes, too.
Oh, I think they're doing it on purpose
Oh, yeah.
to be able to make a point.
But if you want me to be able to talk like this, I can be able to do it and be able to create.
I kind of feel like I'm talking like Arnold Schwarzenegger right now. Anyway, yeah. I like Chill Steve.
Yeah, I mean, because there's a difference. I mean, if we were shooting for that, then we would have to take on like a whole different persona, and it wouldn't necessarily be us.
Yeah, well, people have told us that we're not really us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, you got your NPR voice on.
Right.
When we did a live event, didn't Michaela say you sounded like Kermit the Frog?
Yeah. Kermit the Frog.
I mean, I don't think so, but hey, it's perceived reality.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I guess I don't know what Kermit the Frog sounds like then.
No, I think you did well when you threw your voice and sounded more like Kermit the Frog.
Right.
Yeah, but that's not how your voice sounds.
No.
No. I like the idea that people can listen to our podcast and fall asleep.
There we go.
Comforting.
Mm-hmm.
It's the comforting unsolved mysteries of life that we're lingering in. We have the voice of woo. We're wooing people to sleep.
Right.
As you rest,
Trying to calm you.
just know that the anxieties of life are drifting away.
Let it wash.
They're going away. They're going away. Like the waves of Lake Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
washing across the soul of your life. All of these anxieties are being washed away. The problem is you get sand in your butt crack.
Who knew that was coming in?
Nobody.
Didn't see it coming.
Because
Didn't see it.
I was thinking.
Sand in the butt crack.
Well, if you
But
get
it
down,
happens.
you get down next to the water, and as the waves are coming up, you can't be laying in the water and let the waves wash without sand shifting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not going to lay in the water with my head closest to the lake.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to lay in the water with my legs closest to the lake. Well, the toe bone's connected to the ankle bone. The ankle bone's connected to the knee bone. The knee bone's connected to the hip bone, and my butt crack isn't very far away.
It's true. It's true. That's science.
That's the back side. We're not talking the front side.
Yep.
Silica.
Because it's there too.
Yep. Yeah. So sand.
There was a lot of people out at the beach this weekend.
Oh yeah. Did you guys get down that way?
We just we had to pick up some stuff down that direction. During the day on what was that? It was Sunday afternoon. We were down there driving past Lakeshore, and man, ton of people when you got close to the lake, just walking from the beach to the beach, bringing towels, bringing blankets, bringing all kinds of stuff in order to hang out. And I was like, man, it's still pretty hot.
It was Hades hot, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Hades hot.
right. I mean, it was like
From the shores of Sheol.
Yeah. I mean, it was 96 in my car. Like, it was reading the outside temp. So if you're sitting on a beach with direct sunlight, it's going to feel a lot hotter than that. So, man.
That's true.
Like, you had to have some water and making sure you were staying hydrated in that area.
Full-time hydration. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever drink that water that's like supercharged?
Actually, Heather's been in love with it recently, like smart water, like electrolytes. And,
Yeah. Really? Why is she in love with it?
I don't know. I think that she just started to enjoy. I mean, you can talk about the taste of it, the flavor. I mean, water's not supposed to have a flavor, but really it does.
Yeah.
And so she enjoys that now. Yeah.
I grew up in Michigan on rural water.
Yeah.
And my dentist actually could tell. And as we talked about my dental health.
Yeah.
And he's like, as we were talking about it, he's like, "Oh, you grew up on rural water, didn't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" He goes, "Oh, coloring." He says, "I can tell from the color of your teeth." And
Wow.
I'm like, "I was also on tetraclizine,
Tetrachlorazine.
Yeah, for acne.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good for your teeth either. That came out later. I wish that there was like a mass suit for the graying of teeth that occurred. But anyway, long story short, just saying that I grew up on Michigan rural water, and it always tasted normal to me.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Iowa, and then that water tasted normal. And when I go back to Michigan, that doesn't taste normal at all. When I was back to South Dakota, and I drank from the tap, which I rarely drink from the tap because that's a healthy practice in Chicagoland.
Right.
Don't drink the water. And so, yeah, if there's one thing that I hate doing, but I know I need to do, and so I do it, it's the Costco run for flat water for me to walk up 3 flights of stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's the same. Arizona water. I mean, I lived in Arizona a long time, but even thinking back and then moving to the Midwest has is different.
Yeah.
Water. I mean, Arizona is. I think it has to be highly they put some chlorine in it. Not overly, but there's a lot of stuff that you have to do it in order to make sure it's drinkable.
Yeah.
Because of where it comes from and all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Arizona water tastes a lot different than Midwest water.
Yeah, it's true.
And then, of course, as you've pointed out, Midwest, even as it changes from different places, whether it's Iowa or now Chicago.
Yeah.
I encourage people not to drink from the tap here.
Yeah. Hey,
and they keep saying it's not dangerous, but again, goes back to the distrust of of governmental structures.
Yeah, there you go. We could put a plug in though for Grape Crush Soda. Not yet a sponsor.
Not yet a sponsor.
You'll get a little bit of that on the episode as we talk about not yet a sponsor, not yet a guest.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Both hashtags we can continue to claim.
Yeah. We are looking forward. I know that we've had a couple, especially this season. It seems like that we're dropping into the Phil and Steve editions and stuff. But we've got people in the wings. What we're finding out is that our schedule, because we do it at our leisure,
right,
then doesn't necessarily match how other people's lives work.
Mm-hmm.
And so once again, as a confession of our white male privilege, there is a fluidity and a flexibility of our professions that allow us to be able to pick times when it's not really normal for other people to be on this show. So we're going to do that. We've got a couple services. We're going to start reaching out. Been doing some research on some other things too, and so yeah. So
we're making adjustments, and
as we go,
right?
Yeah,
as you should, right?
Give me a year. Give me a year.
Right.
Give me a year.
So we're going to start bringing
lend me your ear.
Right, we're going to start bringing in people that neither one of us know. So far we've been, trying to we balance that a little bit. People that we both know, or one of the other.
And like little bees in the meadow, we're going to cross pollinate.
Right.
We're going to be available to be able to be on shows.
Right. To continue to spread the word.
Yeah. And so you'll get to be able to meet different hosts that, if they're willing to have us on, we're willing to spread the news.
Reciprocate.
Yep. Sounds good. Trying to grow the base.
Right.
We have not attained critical mass to date.
We have not. Right. But we will.
Oh, yeah.
I'm confident.
Yeah. Going forward in the future,
Oh,
hashtag.
yeah. Yep.
Forward in the future. Critical mass.
Mm-hmm. And I think that there's definitely a benefit of us already doing, when we launched video and audio, we have both dynamics. We can offer that as well to people who want to be on the show, is offering that both video format and audio format. So it's good.
I want to yodel right now.
You should.
When you said audio, I want to yodel, but I can't. No, that's kind of in the same frame as dancing.
You're going to stay away from that too.
Totally stay away from it. And to Brendan Pugh's correction and instruction to me, I'm not going to beatbox either.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to either.
There's so many things in the world that I can do.
Yeah.
I don't even have enough lifetime left to do that. Like all the things I can, I might just as well start the list of what I can't and be okay with it.
Yeah.
And if you imagine you can't, you won't.
That is most definitely true.
That's a direct quote from our next episode that you'll be seeing on Sunday.
Right.
Hey, do you ever get bored with real life?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try not to get bored. I mean, I never really, because I always, my kids are like, I'm bored. Like, well, only boring people are bored.
Oh, there you go.
So usually I try not to be bored. I'm always then, all right, if I'm in a lull, then I've got to figure out something that's going to break it. So I try to be able to discover that.
You know what a lull is?
Yeah.
It's the part in between the waves before the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. It's learning.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Well, and it's good. The other thing, just for people just to know, we actually researched for the show this week.
Yeah.
I mean, so like you can fact check it. Like, I mean, I read off, a couple different websites that would be reputable. And just know that we don't see Wikipedia as necessarily the reputable source, but it certainly is a good overcap. Do you think there are people out there who don't know what Wikipedia is?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Like if you're familiar with Google, you're going to be familiar with Wikipedia.
It's true.
It's going to come up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because they're constantly just like they're always adding to Wikipedia.
And
topics.
Wikipedia is not for profit, right?
Right.
Because they go
They're
through
always
times.
asking for
They like donations. So we really shouldn't plan on them not being a sponsor yet.
Right.
Although.
But you never know. Not yet a sponsor.
Not yet a sponsor. Wikipedia. Boom. Actually, one of the things that we have two things in the studio. We have four things that we're going to do. We need to hang the monitor TV up on the wall.
Yeah.
So that's a project. We need to get it hardwired for when we do our Zoom calls, and
to stabilize that.
That's a project for internet capacity, just to be stabilized instead of it having to go through the wireless router. The ATEM Mini Pro that we use is first generation or second generation. It's the ATEM Mini Pro. I think that makes it the second generation because they had the ATEM Mini and then they went with the Pro. The pandemic hit and that made a lot of sense. And then there's the ATEM Mini Pro ISO, and that one has the ability to record all of the channels at all of the time.
So then you can cut and
then I can do multi-view and just be able to edit along those lines. And so that piece of equipment, I was hoping it was going to happen in June. We may kick off our fourth season and have that in place. And then what I'd really like to do is our lights. They do work. And people have mentioned, hey, your studio's pretty bare. But, it allows the cameras to work well. But our first one we shot, we had some colored lights back here and stuff like that. And so I don't know. We're still.
We played with the color lights for the live too.
Yeah, yeah. But then you got to
know,
pick them
like the
up. You
Land
got to
of
like
Oz.
put them in, and then
Right.
like if you want to really get it, then you should have a color changer, like a controller, and then it's just a lot of silliness.
Right.
Yeah,
Makes it more technical, which means you have to have
yeah,
more people.
yeah. I mean, and we're just two guys kicking around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, doing that.
That's what we do.
It is.
Kicking it around.
Actually, our one of our major goals for everything we do on this podcast is just to see how often we can make you shake your head.
Right.
What-
How many times?
What just happened? No, they didn't say that. Did they really mean that? Well, half the time we do.
Right.
The other half, we don't have to.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I was asking about, like, if you get bored with real life.
Mm-hmm.
I like talking about the weird stuff.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, just, unknown, unsolved. Do we ever really know? It just, I think I can get more free with my imagination and just let it go out there.
Right. Yeah. So that's where we also shake things up.
Shake it up,
Where,
baby, now.
where are you shaking things up in your lulls or mundane?
Great question. I'm going to mark this down too, though. We just need to have a questions episode again. I mean, we ask questions during our episodes, but
Right.
I like it when we just like pose questions.
Mm-hmm. Good questions to pose. So, question episodes is now in the thinking process.
Yeah. Do you feel weird about Father's Day?
Yes.
Okay. It's coming up. I mean, I wouldn't even know that it's coming up,
Right.
except that it's being
Commercials.
advertised. Yeah. And
So, do you feel weird about Father's Day?
I think like there is a part of I don't feel weird on Mother's Day acknowledging my mother.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she had a big part in my birth.
Yeah. I'd say that.
See, do you see where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm.
Fathers, I mean, in even the country song, "Mamas don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of work there for a mom.
Right.
Yeah. Fathers? Yeah. So being a dad, I mean, I think one of probably accomplishments or like as far as being involved, I mean, it's one of the things in my life I'm very grateful to have been able to be a dad.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, to me, it's more about like everyday life, than, oh, here's Sunday. It's Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Acknowledgement and appreciation. I'm like, wow, whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, I think I've even pointed out before. Like, I always look at, Father's Day always seems to me like what I do is like look at all the reasons why I shouldn't be appreciated as a father on Father's Day.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always looking at my deficiencies there.
Yeah.
Because I know I haven't been a perfect father.
Yeah.
So there can be strengths as a father. But I know that I don't know why that happens though, but I always look at that day as always like, oh man, I always reminded of how much I didn't do or haven't done.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's coming up. And so this is the fair warning for the listeners out there that, hey, Father's Day's coming up. If you got one, get a hold of them.
acknowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, dude, it's hot in Chicago. The air conditioner's off, and you're starting to glisten.
Yeah.
And so in the loveliness of
Perspiration.
glow, then we should probably wrap it up.
We should.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, so look forward to the episode that's coming out on Sunday then, and I think you're going to enjoy the conversation. So really dig in and be ready for that.
Yeah, and just let us know what you think, or at least come back with if you've got an alternate view from where we come across with the information we're sharing. I would say just go ahead and let us know about it, and we'd love to dig deeper. I mean, that's what I'm finding this podcast is doing, is I'm becoming like more of a researcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're open
Yeah.
to then saying, what is there more to the story?
Yeah. And wouldn't be the first time we come back and say, hey, we're sorry, we totally screwed up on that because we,
Right.
yeah. There's things we try to be good about that were horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just because we're not as informed as we need to be.
Sure.
Phil starts rattling off names from the news, and I'm like, oh, please keep going because I don't know who the hell you're talking about.
Right. Shin, that's the place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can be wrong.
And are.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, everybody.
All right. Take it easy. Take it any way you can.
Take it easy.
The Eagles.
Be well.
Yeah. See you later.